This is Red Up from the Red Up Tape Blog, coming to another edition of MLB Observations, Week 10 of the 2021 MLB Offseason Hotstove Edition. Plenty happened this week compared to other weeks. So, the Rays re-signed Chris Madison to minor league deal, organizational depth. Sean Nolan went to Korea, which is something that players are doing. The KBO re-signed Jose Miguel Fernandez, formerly of the Angels. Jake Brigham is going to China, so we've seen a lot of KBO in Japan, but this guy's going to China. And Yunel Cuatrocuro signed a minor deal with the Reds, organizational depth. Juan Soto's younger brother, Elian Soto, is going to the Nationals, which makes sense because his brother plays there and he's had success. And the Royals hired Paul Gibson to be senior director of pitching. Mitch Meyer got a promotion to being director of player development and field coordinator. He started off in the minor leagues. He also was a first base coach, who he's moving up the ranks. Twins signed Ivan Rodriguez's son, Derek Rodriguez, the one-time Rocky and Rangers pitcher and Giants pitcher, so that's good. Maybe he'll make the team out of spring training. Kevin Reese is now the VP of player development for the Yankees. Pirates have promoted Miguel Perez to AAA manager and Kerry Madison to AA manager. The Braves signed Jackson Stevens to minor league deal. And Francisco Pena is going to Taiwan. So we got Taiwan, China, Korea, and Japan. Everybody's going somewhere. KC's Royals signed a Rose Gaino minor league deal. When this guy was healthy, he was a pretty good closer. So I could help him out as a guy that can flip the deadline. The last meeting between Major League Baseball and the Players Union, they had not reached a deal. So again, in the month of January, there's no deal. Baseball's still a lockout. And Jim Cott, who just finally got elected Hall of Fame, the Twins said, he's finally in the Hall of Fame. Might as well retire his number. Why didn't you retire his number years ago? Because he wasn't just a player for you, he was also a broadcaster for you. And the Mets decided they're going to retire Keith Hernandez's number. And I'm like, okay, so it took them forever to do Jerry Kuzman. To go to do Keith Hernandez, are they ever going to do like David Wright? Are they going to do John Franco? There's some guys that are going to take a while to do that. Or they're changing the dimension of left field and Camden Yards, so they're like pushing the wall back and also raising it up. And I was there. It was a very beautiful ballpark, so it'll be interesting to see how that affects it. The Rays have lost their bullpen catcher, Gene Ramirez, who played briefly in the minor leagues for them, has been a coach. Sad to lose somebody in their mid-20s as he was 26 years old. And we also lost Tommy Magic. And Tommy Magic played for a bunch of teams, including the Tigers, the Red Sox, the Royals, the Brewers, and the Orioles. And one thing you can say is he won the World Series in 1968 with the Tigers. That's pretty good to say for your career, because then you're like, I wasn't the world's greatest player, but, at least he was able to say I won a World Series. We also lost Eddie Banaski of the Dodgers, and he played for the Pirates, and he was a one-time All-Star. He had a .244 average, 58 runs scored, 59 RBI. He passed age of 99, so he got to live a full life. And say he was a one-time All-Star as well. So rest in peace to Teddy Bazinski, Tommy Magic, and Gene Ramirez. And Harrison Bader filled in as a substitute teacher for a local school, which is an interesting story. Mookie Betts bowled over 300. We already know how good he is at bowling. Apple is trying to reach agreement with Major League Baseball to have streaming on Apple Plus. If that's the way it's going to go, I hope they just don't lock out people who don't have cable or streaming so they can still watch their team locally. The Blue Jays and the Yankees both made history as the Yankees hired Rachel Balkovich as a minor league manager for them after being a minor league hitting instructor. And the Blue Jays hired Jamie Vieira as a minor league hitting coach as well, another female, so that's congratulations to them. Nationals brought Joe Dillon back as an MLB hitting coordinator. Willie Frazier and Mike Piguero are special assistants, former Major League players. David Cohn is joining the Sunday Night booth. We're still not sure who's going to be the Sunday Night voice, because Matt Vasgersian's not the Sunday Night voice, and A-Rod's leaving the booth, but he's going to do a simulcast like the Manning Cats with Michael Kay from the Yankees. So that's be interesting. And Genevieve Beacom became the first female pitcher in professional baseball, pitching overseas as a left-handed pitcher for Australia. So another groundbreaking thing. Diamondbacks have signed Brandon Bishop, the Seattle Mariners outfielder. They don't really have a set outfield nor a real center fielder, so maybe he has a chance to make the team. And Kenyon Middleton has been a major league reliever for a while, so that can help out their bullpen. Marlins signed Eric Gonzalez to minor deal. I don't know what that's going to do, because they still got Rojas, and they still have, obviously, Chad Sisholm. They got Joey Wendell. They got Brian Anderson. They got way too many infielders, so he's probably going to stay in the minor league. Mets signed Alex Claudio and Steven Negotiak to minor league deal. Negotiak is depth. Alex Claudio definitely could replace the void that Aaron Loop is going to leave as the left-handed pitcher out of the bullpen. And Angels signed Manger Sierra and Kyle Bearclaw. Manger Sierra, we know, is the former Cardinal prospect traded to the Marlins in that trade for Ozuna. He has, hasn't really turned out, so it's a backup for the Angels, who the last 2 seasons have hit with a rash of injuries in the outfield. And Kyle Bearclaw has bounced around as a major league relief pitcher. That will definitely help out a lot of teams, especially the Angels, whose bullpen is not that great. The Giants signed Corey Oswalt and Joe Palombo to minor league deal. As a game of the organizational depth for their pitching staff, and Luis Gonzalez, who was already on their team this year, former White Sox outfielder, will just be organizational depth. Steve Kerr says that he's leaving the Brewers as their bullpen coach, so they have to look for a new bullpen coach. The Yankees signed Ryan Webster and Manny Manuel minor league deals again. Those small organizational depth moves will be help out in case of injuries, because those guys have both been major league reliever. Twins signed Curtis Terry to minor league deal. That's again organizational depth. And the Padres re-signed Jose Castillo and Webster Riva to be, a minor league deal, so that's organizational depth. And the A's announced some of their coaching after they already announced that Brett Ausmus would be the bench coach. They're replacing Darren Bush, who's going to become the third base run prevention coach, by having Tommy Everidge, who was promoted for the same role from AAA. And they're also pairing Everidge with Chris Crone, who will join assistant staff. He's the former major league who played baseball, and his sons have both played baseball. And Eric Martins will slide over to first base. Adeltree will take the quality control coach. And Scott Emerson is back, and so is Marcus Jensen. So these have finalized their staff. And 3 baseball players in the last week announced their retirement. And a couple of them have been, a little bit of surprise. First one was John Lester. I know John Lester is 38 years old, and he only has 200 career wins. But I thought maybe, just maybe, that he could pitch, 2 to 3 more seasons and get maybe 210, 220, 230, because I don't think anybody's ever going to get to 300 wins. I don't think anybody's ever going to get to 250 unless they play a long time, because starters are not going 5 innings. Starters are not pitching 200 innings. They're babying them, and they're piggybacking 2 starters to be in the 5th role. So that's what they're doing. But yeah, John Lester played for the Red Sox, where he won himself a World Series twice. Then he went to Oakland for half a season. Then he went to the Cubs, where he helped the Cubs turn it around and win a World Series. Then he pitched for Washington and St. Louis last season. He pitched a no-hitter. He led the NL in wins in 2018. He was the NLCS MVP. He was a 5-time All-Star. He has 2,400 strikeouts, so again, just short of the 2,500 strikeouts, but a lifetime 366 average. And he also is a cancer survivor, so to beat cancer and to have this pretty good career where you win 200 games, you almost have 2,500 strikeouts, and you win 3 World Series, and you were 5-time All-Star pitcher. That's a pretty good career. So happy trails to John Lester. Loki Cabrera announced his retirement, and it's been a while since he's been in a major league roster. I still felt in his mid to late 30s that he could help somebody as a 4th or 5th outfielder. The former White Sox and Yankees and Braves and Royals and Giants and Blue Jays and Indians and Pirates outfield in 2019. He was a 1-time All-Star. He was on the Yankees team that won the World Series in 2009, and he hit for the cycle, and he won bronze in the Olympic Games for the Dominican Republic. So not a bad thing. And then he was on the Mets in 2020 during the minor league season, and then he played, in the Caribbean series and like that. So I will miss Loki Cabrera as much as John Lester. John Lester was on my wall, and I've been a huge fan of him, even though he went to the Cubs. Loki Cabrera, I was a huge fan of him, and when I played for the White Sox, it was great to see the man, because he could play a good outfield, being a former center fielder, and he was a pretty clutch hitter. So happy trails to him. And 1-time Major League outfielder Travis Snyder, who was the Blue Jays starting outfielder, didn't really turn out the way he was supposed to be. Then went to Pittsburgh, and then after that, bounced around, and he hadn't been in the major leagues in a while because, they didn't really need him. So he basically bounced around from minor league teams. The Royals had him in minor leagues, the Rangers had him in the minor leagues, the Mets, then he played independent baseball, then the Diamondbacks in 2019, and then in 2020, the Marlins had a minor league team. This past season, he played for the Braves in the minor leagues as well. So he continued to play his career, even though he had to play in the minor leagues and in independent ball. But I remember mostly as a Blue Jays relief pitcher. A starting outfielder. He was a right fielder. Nicknamed Lunchbox. So happy trails to them, and rest in peace to the baseball players who passed away. Thanks for listening to another edition of MLB Observations, Week 10 of the 2020 offseason Hot Stove. For other Raider Tape Blog, I'm Radar. See you guys next time.